The corridors of my mind now echo with the heavy footsteps of regret, each stride a painful reminder of my past failings. A profound remorse washes over me, a relentless tide pulling me under the weight of what could have been. My soul aches with the knowledge of my emotional unavailability, a fortress I built around my heart precisely when your love for me was a blazing inferno, a passionate and unreserved offering I so carelessly dismissed. Now, adrift in a sea of longing, I find myself desperately missing every facet of your being. Your laughter, once a melody I took for granted, now rings in the silence like a phantom symphony. Your comforting presence, a warmth I carelessly stepped away from, now feels like a phantom limb, an ache in the space you once occupied. Each memory, each shared glance, every whispered secret that passed between us now reverberates within the chambers of my mind, amplifying the crushing weight of my loss. A fierce anger burns within me, a self-directed inferno fueled by the stark realization of my own folly. I rage against myself for my blindness, for my utter failure to recognize the profound significance of the connection we shared. The truth, sharp and undeniable, cuts through the haze of my past indifference. I hurt you. My emotional unavailability, my detached demeanor, the very walls I erected between us caused you pain, a pain I now see with agonizing clarity. This awakening is no gentle dawn, it is a harsh, unforgiving light exposing the wreckage of my actions. It is like staring into a mirror that reflects not just my face, but the devastating consequences of my choices. This understanding is a bitter draught, a truth that scorches my throat as I swallow it down. I am the architect of this desolation, the builder of this lonely tower from which I now gaze upon the ruins of our love and the landscape of your heartache. In a desperate attempt to fathom the depth of the pain I inflicted, I now try to walk in your shoes, to inhabit the world as you experienced it. I strive to see through your eyes, to feel the very emotions that once coursed through your heart. In this painful exercise of empathy, a profound and humbling truth emerges. I could never love someone with the selfless, boundless intensity that you loved me. Your love was a pure and unconditional gift, a beacon of light in my often shadowed existence, a kind of love I now recognize with devastating clarity that I took entirely for granted. The realization dawns upon me with the force of a physical blow. Not giving you my time, not reciprocating the depth of your affection, was not merely a mistake, it was the most colossal, the most irreversible blunder of my life. I was so consumed by the trivialities of my own world, so lost in the labyrinth of my own concerns, that I utterly failed to perceive the precious, invaluable gift that stood before me, you. You have now come into sharp focus, not as a fleeting presence, but as a true blessing, a radiant silver lining in the often overcast sky of my world, a steadfast beacon of hope and unwavering love. The agonizing truth is that I let go of a person who possessed the power to enrich my life beyond measure, a person whose value I was too blind to see. Before you, unconditional love was an alien concept to me. I had navigated a world where affection came with strings attached, where every gesture demanded a reciprocal action, a carefully calculated exchange. In this transactional landscape, I initially, and so foolishly, assumed your love operated under the same conditional terms. But your words, your actions, the very essence of your being painted a vastly different picture. You showed me, through the unwavering consistency of your affection, that love transcends conditions, that it is not a business negotiation but a profound and heartfelt emotion that flows freely and without expectation. Your capacity to love and respect without demanding anything in return continues to astound me, a testament to a spirit far greater than my own. Now, every thought of you, every lingering memory of our time together, brings a fresh wave of tears to my eyes. The moments I once dismissed as insignificant, the mundane routines and quiet intimacies we shared, are now treasured relics, precious gems I desperately wish I could somehow relive, re-experience, hold on to once more. An intense current of longing emanates from the very core of my being, a palpable energy directed solely towards you. I am now immersed in a state of profound reflection and deep-seated regret, endlessly wishing for the impossible, the ability to turn back the relentless march of time and erase the mistakes that now haunt my waking hours and invade my restless sleep. But alas, time remains the one immutable force, the one constant that refuses to yield to our desperate wishes. And so, I am left with the relentless company of my thoughts, the gnawing ache of my regrets, and the agonizing, inescapable realization of a love lost, a treasure carelessly discarded. The moment you walked away from me is etched into the very fabric of my being, a deep and indelible imprint upon my heart. The pain was not a fleeting sensation, it was a sharp, profound agony, a feeling so intense it felt almost tangible, a physical weight pressing down upon my chest. It was as if a vital part of me had been surgically removed, leaving behind a gaping void that seemed impossible to fill. My ego, once so inflated and seemingly robust, felt suddenly deflated, fragile, exposed. It was a blow I had not foreseen, a wound that remained raw and fresh with every passing moment. Yet, amidst this tumultuous whirlwind of emotions, a profound sense of respect for you began to take root and grow. Your courage, your unwavering strength to stand firm against what was not right, was something I admired deeply, even in my pain. It was a quality so rare and precious, a trait so undeniably admirable and inspiring. It was your very courage, your resolute stance, that ultimately pushed me to reevaluate the entirety of our connection, to examine it through a new lens, a lens of dignity and integrity. It was a necessary push, a transformative force that began to chip away at the walls of my own self-deception. The transformation that you underwent was nothing short of remarkable, a testament to your inner fortitude. It was a change that permeated every aspect of your being, a visible manifestation of your inherent strength and unwavering determination. It became unequivocally clear to me that you would accept nothing less than genuine and heartfelt amends from me, that you would never settle for a connection that was not nurtured with the utmost care and unwavering responsibility. This realization, like a sudden flash of lightning in a darkened sky, compelled me to take charge, to finally attempt to steer our foundering connection in the right direction, towards a shore of mutual respect and understanding. Everything became crystal clear in that moment, the fog of my own confusion finally lifted, revealing a stark and somewhat bitter reality. The people I had mistakenly believed loved me, the ones I had naively thought were steadfastly on my side, were, in truth, merely using me for their own selfish gain. This revelation was a harsh truth to digest, a difficult pill to swallow, leaving a lingering aftertaste of betrayal. The guilt that subsequently washed over me was overwhelming, a suffocating wave of self-reproach. The devastating realization that I had failed to trust the one person who had so completely given me her all was a bitter, corrosive truth. She had offered me her unwavering loyalty, her boundless love, without any hidden expectations, without any burdensome conditions, and yet I had been so blind, so self-absorbed, that I had failed to truly see her worth, failed to genuinely appreciate the immeasurable depth of her love. But even amidst this turbulent sea of conflicting emotions, one undeniable truth remained steadfast: you had captivated my heart from the very first moment our paths intertwined. There was an inexplicable something about you that resonated deep within my soul, something that struck a profound chord within the hidden chambers of my heart. You were the first person who seemed to possess the uncanny ability to understand my inner demons, the first soul who made me feel a sense of belonging, a feeling I had so rarely experienced before. You were the one who truly saw me, not just the superficial facade I often presented to the world, but the vulnerable, authentic self beneath. You made me feel understood in a way no one else ever had. You were the one who banished the isolating feeling of being alone in my struggles, in my internal battles. You made me feel like I was not just another face in the indifferent crowd, but someone who genuinely mattered, someone of intrinsic importance. This entire experience, this painful but ultimately necessary unraveling, was not solely about the acute pain of losing you or the crushing weight of my guilt for not having trusted you implicitly. It was, in its essence, a profound journey of self-discovery, a challenging but ultimately transformative path of growth. It was about finally learning to truly love and respect myself, about understanding the immeasurable value of the connections that genuinely nourish the soul. It was about finding the courage to stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult, about summoning the inner strength to make sincere amends and to move forward with a newfound sense of purpose. It was about finally finding a sense of belonging, a clearer understanding of my own purpose in this world, and a deeper, more authentic sense of self. And for this profound and invaluable awakening, I will forever be grateful to you, the catalyst for this essential transformation. My gaze now lingers upon you, not with the casual indifference of the past, but with a profound sense of wonder and deep reflection, marveling at your remarkable display of self-control. I have observed a distinct shift in your demeanor, a noticeable change in the very dynamics of our relationship. The familiar patterns have subtly altered. You are no longer the one consistently taking the lead, the initiator of our interactions as you once were. The calls and texts, once a regular and comforting rhythm in my day, have become less frequent, leaving a noticeable void in the landscape of my life. This change, though subtle, has created a palpable emptiness, a space now filled with a persistent longing and a constant stream of fantasies, vivid imaginings of your presence, your voice, your touch. I find myself constantly consumed by thoughts of you, acutely missing your comforting presence and yearning for the simple pleasure of your company. My mind relentlessly replays the connection we once shared, a bond that transcended the purely physical, delving into the deeper realms of the emotional and even the spiritual. It was a connection so intensely felt, so utterly natural, that it often felt as if two distinct energies were seamlessly merging into one harmonious whole. I vividly remember how effortlessly we connected, how our individual energies resonated with an almost mystical synergy, creating a bond that felt uniquely ours, profoundly special. A deep and persistent yearning now consumes me, a profound desire to somehow relive those beautiful, cherished moments we shared, those precious instances when the rest of the world seemed to fade into insignificance, and it was just the two of us, completely and utterly lost in our own private universe. I now consider those times spent in your presence to be the most genuinely pure and deeply loving experiences of my life. The indelible memories of those moments are now etched into the deepest recesses of my heart, and I find myself constantly longing to experience that same profound connection, that same unadulterated joy, once again in my life. The stark and undeniable truth is that I cannot even begin to imagine anyone else ever truly taking your place. With you, I experienced a profound sense of completeness, a deep feeling of finally belonging, of finding my true anchor in this often turbulent world. I now firmly believe, with an unwavering conviction, that you are the only person who truly fits perfectly alongside me, the only soul who possesses the rare ability to understand me at a level that no one else has ever even approached. The undeniable truth that now confronts me is this: no matter how desperately I might try to run away from my feelings, no matter how futilely I attempt to block you out of my thoughts and my heart, in the end, it is your very thoughts, the lingering echoes of your presence, that bring me the only semblance of true comfort I can now find. Your memory, the gentle warmth of your regard, brings a sense of profound peace and an immense, almost inexplicable pleasure that I can find nowhere else in this increasingly desolate landscape of my existence. Your thoughts are like a soothing balm to my restless heart, a solitary source of solace in what often feels like an overwhelmingly chaotic world. I may have foolishly tried to convince myself, in moments of self-deception and denial, that my feelings for you were merely a passing infatuation, a fleeting and ultimately insignificant attraction. But deep down, in the quiet sanctuary of my soul, I now know the unvarnished truth. My feelings for you are not ephemeral, they are genuine, deep, and profoundly enduring. I have even found myself, in moments of quiet solitude, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of my emotions, tears silently streaming down my face as the weight of my past actions and the depth of my current longing become almost unbearable. The memory of the times I was less than honest with you about the true extent of my feelings now fills me with a sharp and persistent pang of regret. I now cherish your presence in my life with an intensity one never knew before. I deeply value the unique and precious bond we share, the intricate and meaningful connection we have forged. I now understand, with absolute clarity, that my life is immeasurably better with you in it, and I wouldn't trade your presence for anything the world could possibly offer. Your significance in my life is not merely substantial, it is utterly indispensable, and the thought of a future without you now fills me with a profound and unsettling emptiness. The truth, which I can no longer deny, is that my feelings for you are real, unwavering, and I can no longer hide from them, nor do I wish to. I have finally come to the crucial realization that it is time to face these deeply held emotions, to openly acknowledge the profound love I feel for you, and to wholeheartedly embrace the beautiful and unique bond that we share. I am ready, truly ready, to open my heart to you completely, to allow you back into its vulnerable chambers, and to let my love for you shine forth, unburdened by the shadows of the past. I am ready to love and to be loved in return, to give freely and to receive gratefully, to share the journey of life with you and to cherish every single moment. In the grand tapestry of my life, I have indeed achieved a multitude of accomplishments. I have scaled the seemingly insurmountable heights of professional success, tasted the exhilaratingly sweet nectar of victory in various endeavors, and basked in the fleeting but intoxicating glow of triumph. Yet, despite these numerous accolades and outward signs of achievement, I often found myself inexplicably engulfed in a profound abyss of emptiness, a hollow ache that no amount of external validation could truly fill. It was as if I stood precariously on the very pinnacle of a towering mountain, surrounded by an endless, desolate expanse of nothingness. No amount of praise, no collection of hard-earned laurels, could truly penetrate this pervasive void that seemed to consume my very being, a profound and unsettling emptiness that threatened to swallow me whole. Then, like a sudden and unexpected dawn, your presence entered my life. Your being was like a radiant beacon of light that pierced through the oppressive darkness that had enveloped me, illuminating my world with a warmth and a love I had never truly known before. You filled that aching void within me, healing the unseen wounds that I had carried for so long, mending the fractured pieces of my broken spirit with a gentle and unwavering touch. With you, I finally discovered a sense of genuine fulfillment, a deep and abiding peace that had eluded me for so long. Your presence in my life was like a soothing balm that gently healed all my hurts, bringing a profound tranquility to my often restless soul.